Starting record. The Burn Motherfucker Burn podcast is brought to you by Death Squad UK. We are in no way affiliated with Brian Redband, but he has inspired us to do this podcast. This is episode 1, the pilot, the nervous one. With me, Ben Burrows, at Death Squad _UK on Twitter, and hit me Declan Whiteside.
Declan Whiteside, Dienekesundead on Twitter.
And if you can spell that, you're a better man than me. And as you say, in the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland and Great Britain, part of the Commonwealth, part of the European Union. Declan Whiteside, let's start this motherfucker.
We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. Yeah. Burn, motherfucker.
Jesus. If anybody is here looking for Dale Burrows at Dale7B on Twitter and Matty Little at MattyDizzle85 on Twitter, they are not here. This is a new show, a pilot from Death Squad UK about economics and politics. I know that sounds bollocks, but we are going to turn shit down. We are going to mash things up. We are going to get the CIA to come to our door. So there's going to be no dwarf sex or zombies on this one.
You're already being followed by half the FBI anyway.
That is true. I am followed by the FBI. Right, Declan, questions I need to ask you about the current affairs that are going on now. Conservative. Why do you vote Conservative?
Why do I vote Conservative?
Yeah.
Well, apart from the fact that I just generally dislike Labour. Just generally. I don't like them. I don't like who they are. Or
What they stand for? Why?
Well,
is the family Conservative?
Not exactly, no.
Well, talk me through the family.
Well, let's face facts. We live in the northwest of England.
Yeah, Conservative. A Conservative area.
Oh, yeah, a massive Conservative area.
That's not to Labour, it's all Labour. And a few BNP, that's the British National Racist Party.
Yeah. But to me, I just don't like Labour whatsoever.
What, do you not like the politics? Or the
40,
people? Is it
40,
because they're common?
Well, they're not exactly common, let's face facts.
But a couple of them are Northerners, aren't they? Even though the Chancellor of the Exchequer is supposed to be fucking from the North.
Yeah.
How did he become the Chancellor of the Exchequer if he's from the fucking North?
Poshest Northerner on the planet.
Right, so come on, why Conservative?
Right. Well, 40 odd years ago, 45 years ago, Labour stood for, it's in the name, Labour, you know. Yeah. They worked, that was the type of thing. And then,
well, did you like that?
Well, obviously I wasn't around then, but I could imagine that it'd be better.
Right.
They only had vague ideas on an idea of a welfare then.
Right, so what you're saying that's changed between then and now?
Definitely.
Right,
massively.
So what do you think they stand for now?
Well, currently, nearly 2 million of their voters live on welfare permanently, straight away.
What, start again? How many?
Nearly 2 million of their voters
2 million?
live on welfare permanently.
What, and do you think they get the whole 2 million niche?
You've got about 2.2 million disabled /
Is that how much? Is that how many it is?
There's, all the different welfare.
Well, what's the population of Great Britain at the moment? It's 64 million.
65.
And how many of those are working?
Well, you've got maybe, I think it's 21 million.
21 million, right. So what are the other 50 fucking million doing?
50 million. Well,
that's a lot of fucking people. 24 million are proper no wonder the country's fucked.
Well, you've got, what is it? I think it's 6 million unemployed who are workable age.
That's massive. I didn't know it was that high.
Well, when they tell you that the unemployment's only 11% or whatever, it's 11% of the workable population, not of the total population.
Right. So what else is there? So that's 6 million. So you still got 44 million people. How many fucking pensioners is there?
You've got double figure million pensioners. I don't know how many it is.
Holy fuck.
But then you've got all sorts of other stupid other things. People working here on visas, which is 3 million, something like that.
Really? There's that many people?
It's
3 million?
something really stupid like that.
That's fucking, what's that? 0.5% of the population.
3 million, well, it's 5% of the population.
5% of the population, and it's fucking... It's not even, they're not even nationally just there working. That doesn't make sense.
They won't even be in the population, though, will they?
So what is it then? What is it about Labour? What about now where they've lost the track, where back in the day it was about fucking...
And initially, obviously we grew up mostly under a Labour government, you know, in part anyway. At least I did. You're a bit older than me.
Yeah, I had Maggie Thatcher when we went to the Falklands. Then we had John Major, Tony Blair, what's his fucking name? Gordon the Gort Brown. And now this fucking son of a bitch, David Cameron. Yes, I've seen a few, right? Yeah.
Well, anyway, partly I seen, even from a young age, that stuff wasn't going to be going right anyway. You know, like when I was in school, it was always, I was working class, you know, both my parents worked.
What do you mean was? You're not in that demographic now?
Well, no, I'm trying to, I'm a wannabe snob, aren't I? I'm a wannabe middle class.
Don't hold it back. You're wearing a tank top and you got tattoos. I want to be snob. But isn't that what, is that, that's like punk, isn't it?
I know, yeah. A metalhead who reads the Times and has a subscription to the Times.
That's what I like about you, a metalhead, a proper metalhead if you're watching Vicky, who reads the Times. Right, so come on then. Right.
Anyway, back to the point. Like when I was in school, just this is the first example for me. When we were in school, I was from both parents working in the household type of thing.
Yeah.
And you generally speaking have not as much as other people in the school who had parents who didn't work at all, ever.
Right. So what's the fuck has that got to do with government?
Well, I blame Labour in part.
What, because you had to pay for your school dinners?
I didn't care about my school dinners. I got given butties.
Was you a pat lunch?
Yeah, no money on us. But you've obviously got with the welfare anyway. Before Thatcher came in, whoever the hell the guy was before Thatcher, I can't remember his name.
Right.
He started laying the foundations for welfare.
Yeah.
Thatcher laid more, and then used it to bump up her own unemployment figures, which we all know she did anyway.
What, Thatcher bump up her unemployment figures?
Well, she wanted to make the unemployment figures look better.
Oh, right. So she was decreasing them.
So she was
fiddling
fiddling them by putting people on disability or sickness, or
which is what the state is now, isn't it? Because I don't know what it was before Conservative came to power, but now it's if you unemployed, you can only claim for 6 months, and then after 6 months you're on your roll.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. Was that around before Conservative, or was it just dole? It must have been because people were on the dole forever.
Yeah, well, the Thatcher laid even more. She definitely brought out the vast majority of the disability things you've got now. But after she was gone, John Major laid even more.
Really?
Labour government laid even more.
Conservatives?
Onwards, yeah. Well,
why?
It was part of the thing at the time. That they needed it because they were voted in to save jobs in the country.
Right. What Conservative were?
We all know they did a good job on that one, don't we?
Thatcher closed the mines.
You know, really? I didn't know that.
Why did she close them? We used to basically get our own fossil fuels from our own country. We used to mine it. I think most mines were in Wales, weren't they?
Yeah, you had a lot where we are as well.
Yeah,
about 10 miles from here.
And they wanted better pay conditions, so. You probably know the story better than me. What was the whole story behind the whole fucking miner thing?
When it came about, obviously, miners in general, like, not to make it too much of a generalisation, you know, you can't penalise all of them, but they were mega powerful. Right. With the unions, they were mega powerful. Everybody knows that. You know, stories of people going on strike for bog roll. You know, really stupid stories.
God.
You know, how true any of them are, we don't know, because obviously they had a political agenda in the news at the time anyway.
What was that?
To get the miners on strike or get them on, you know.
Better pay.
But they could demand anything they wanted and get away with it.
Right.
And obviously Thatcher came in and then she decided, you know, she wanted to nationalise British Gas and nationalise
that was to open it up.
Well, I mean, sorry, sell off, you know.
Right, privatise.
Sorry, not nationalise.
You read the Times and you got that wrong. You want to be ashamed of yourself. Really. You're blaming that on the whiskey.
Yeah, I'm blaming that on whiskey.
Right.
She wanted to privatise stuff basically, and in order for her to privatise the North gas fields.
Yeah.
You know, in the North Sea.
Yeah. That's
it was,
our own shit, that, isn't it?
It was, but Norway owns a good chunk of that.
So we pay Norway.
Well,
Why do they maintain the network?
It's a UK company owned by a Norwegian company, most of it. But like the vast majority of our gas now comes from Russia. Not that anybody knows that.
So it gets piped all the way from Russia.
One of the
when
longest
there's
pipes in the world.
Gas field in the North Sea.
Yeah.
Because it's cheaper to gas it in than what it is for us to fucking take it out of our own pit. That doesn't make any sense.
No. But obviously she, you know, got on by the balls and said, right, come on then, strike, have a go. And they did. And ultimately, if you want to take it down to a win or lose argument, you could say that she did win for what she wanted anyway.
There was rolling blackouts all over the country.
I know.
Yeah. How the fuck? She might have won, mate, but she won fucking brutally.
I know. She used
She was fucking awesome.
She used the public against them, really, and strictly speaking, because when people go on strike, especially now, even worse now, if people go on strike now, they don't blame the government for it. They blame the people going on strike.
Yeah, that's true. That's what they try and do. This is their fault. This is their fault. Yeah. When they might have shit working conditions. Don't get me wrong. I would rather work in the shittest place in England than work anywhere in fucking China.
Yeah.
Foxconn.
Yeah. Foxconn. Yeah.
They got fucking suicide nets, haven't they?
Yeah, suicide nets.
As standard. You can't in the toilets. They've designed the toilets so people can't hang themselves.
I've read a bit on the Foxconn thing.
What do you make of it?
It's it can't be a good workplace, can it? Let's face facts. What do you expect though? It's Apple have got to have a bad thing somewhere.
Do you think then this country has got it right then with all the fucking health and safety bullshit that they've got?
No, definitely not. You mean as in the ridiculous people?
Well, we feel. I mean, even though you've had a few incidents at work, we feel regularly safe, don't we? Where we go to work and we're not going to die.
Yeah, we do now. Yeah, relatively.
And that's come from the unions, hasn't it? It has.
Well.
Even before then, 1900s.
Yeah, you could say it's coming from the unions, yeah, definitely. But it's going to come in from the unions since they got the fucking memberships down a lot. Because they have lost a lot of membership in the last 20 years.
They've got they're still donating all the unions, and the major donating party are forced to the Labour Party.
Yeah, they definitely are.
I mean, I pay £14 a month for mine.
Mm-hmm.
And how many members do you reckon the GMB have got? We're talking millions, aren't we? 10 million.
Definitely, yeah. Well, you're definitely talking millions. But obviously, who have you got now for the unions? You've got GMB, haven't you? Unison. That's the teachers one, isn't it?
Yeah. There's another union where there's a union where you don't even have to pay. One of the fellas in work rings him for Paul Eaton.
Yeah.
He fucking rings him for is it ACOS or something like that?
I honestly don't know. I know a lot of the union history, but I don't know anything about them.
What do you think? I can remember speaking to somebody in work about the unions, and he said, I don't need a union. If I fucking get unfairly dismissed, I can just go to a fucking employment solicitor.
Yeah, well...
So that's bypassing the fucking union then, isn't it?
That's the idea behind it, is that these days a lot of people do stuff on their own. You know, and not only that, a lot of people do it off their own back to get by-in work.
So do you think it's better being in a union or not? Are you in one?
I'm not in a union.
Why?
I've never been in one.
Why?
Because... Number one, I've never needed one, really.
Right.
The times that people would have needed one type of thing, I've fought it out myself.
Right.
And those times type of thing, I've gone in fighting and tried to...
What was it over?
One was over breaks when I worked in a nameless supermarket.
Right. Right, yeah.
At which point the idea was that at 10 o'clock at the end of your shift, you go home.
Right, yeah, that sounds fair.
I'm
packing up. 10 to 10, I'm packing up.
Manager says to you, 10 o'clock, right, you got to stay. No, I don't. And then, what? And I walked. I did walk.
Did you? How old was you?
17.
At 17, mate, I was fucking dicking. No, at 17, mate, I was obeying all the rules.
Yeah.
I'll be moody about it, and I'll be bitching about it, but I would be staying.
But
that thing's paying me to have a life. Did you not see it as that?
I walked, and a couple of days later, there was a disciplinary thing, blah, blah, blah. Tried to give me a fine.
Was it insubordination?
I can't even remember what the wording was. But all I know is I just said to him, no.
Did you? Was you not shitting it?
No, not really.
Right.
I was in college anyway.
So was it a written warning?
Yeah, well, it was a final.
It was a
Actually, well,
final?
that's what he's pushing for.
Right,
but
go on.
I just said, no, I'm not signing that. Not signing that. Not signing that.
Did you have anybody from HR there, or was you offered union representation?
I wasn't
or
offered
what?
union representation, but obviously I wasn't in the union.
Right, okay.
But so the idea behind it for me was try and fight it out myself.
Right, how did you go down?
Ultimately, in the end,
You sucked dick.
yeah,
Bit of dick.
yeah, suck dick. In the end, it came down to he backed down and he offered like the lowest thing that you can have, which is I think it was called counselling. I think something stupid like that. And and he got all the way down to that, and then in the end, I just literally, to be honest with you, I actually took quite a lot of tactics from what the unions actually do, which is annoy managers into getting their own way, which they do. I know for a fact that they get trained to do that. They get trained to annoy management into getting their way.
Right.
So
You were just plain stubborn.
I irritated him, and then eventually he just went, "Oh fuck
How?
it, can't be arsed, fuck you."
How did you irritate him?
Well, I just kept saying no, I'm not signing it. And we must have gone through about 4 or 5 different times when he got me in. And one time he got me in there with like the ADM or whatever the hell it was.
Right. What's that? The
like the
department manager.
more or less the top manager in the store type of thing.
What does the A stand for?
Don't have a clue.
Right.
Don't have a
Arsehole.
clue.
Arsehole department manager.
Arsehole dick muncher.
Nice.
The
that was good.
That was a good one, that wasn't it?
Come out of the blue, that like a fucking train.
So I irritated him, and then in the end he just ripped it up and he said, "Oh fuck it, can't be asked." But luckily for me, he left a week later anyway. But
that's probably why he couldn't be asked.
Yeah, the thing with
well, he could have just walked you into the office and went, "Right, you're fired."
No, he couldn't.
As a manager, would he be worrying that it was unfair dismissal? As a manager, do you worry about that shit? When people sack people, do you think, "Fuck me, this could go to court"? Might cost the company 70 grand for the claim.
Yeah, well, I would say they definitely would. Not only that, the big thing a lot of companies have is that sometimes there's nothing to stop you from taking them to a tribunal. If you're in the union, there's nothing to stop you from taking them to tribunal because it won't cost you anything at all. So you might as well.
Yeah, but solicitors are no-win. Lots of fee, aren't they? But you're going to win, aren't you? They won't take it all.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
And then you can go all the way to the European Court of Human Rights if you want to.
Yeah, you end up going fucking all sorts down stupid fucking routes then, don't you?
Yeah.
But ultimately, in the end, was that number one, I didn't like him. Number two, I thought I am in the fucking right, so I am gonna push.
He knew that. He knew that, didn't he?
And I think I think what happens is, if you've got an experienced manager, he'll never make that mistake of being in the wrong.
Right.
If he's not an experienced manager,
he's gonna break.
You're gonna push him, and he's gonna go and ask advice from somebody else, and they're gonna go, "You fucking idiot," and then they're gonna shit.
Yeah.
Hopefully, but every now and again you do get a Thatcher manager, don't you? Who fucking bums you.
Do you think Thatcher was a good prime minister?
I think she was good on certain things, but
well, like
definitely. Well, I know you had your fault. Everybody sees the faultons and all that.
As a success,
generally speaking, yeah.
What do you think about colonial territory?
Colonial territory, I'm definitely. It depends.
For or against?
I think I'm definitely for colonial territory.
Aren't we Isn't Pakistan part of the colony?
No.
Is it not?
I think they're part of the Commonwealth of Nations,
right?
Which has the 20 British Commonwealths in,
right,
and 80 others ex-Commonwealth.
80.
Something like that. It's
so
there
was 140 Commonwealth countries at the height of the British Empire.
It's something like 80 odd, something like that, and 20 of them are still with us now.
Right. I noticed somebody posted some pictures of dollars and Canadian notes. I noticed the Queen's head was on the Canadian note.
The Canadians started backing the Queen the last couple of years.
Why?
They've even renamed the military the Royal Army.
And wasn't it the Royal Canadian Army beforehand?
No, it was called something else, and they've renamed it back to the Royal now. So now, officially, she's their Queen again.
So she's the head of state?
Yeah.
The Queen
officially
is the head of state of Canada?
Yeah.
That is fucking weird, isn't it?
It is.
That's like imagine that. Mm-hmm. Imagine a foreigner being a head of state for your country. The Australians had a referendum probably about 5 years ago, and they voted to keep the Queen.
Yeah.
And the fucking Scottish don't want it. The Scottish want to go independent. So you think colonies are a good idea?
Yeah, but I think you definitely need that route for a colony to get out.
Right.
Because obviously, if you support colonies, you need something for
a democracy.
You need a democratic colony in some way. But obviously, one where it's that irritating to get out of the colony that it'll stop people from just at a win, just at any second going, fuck it, we've got to get out.
Right.
You can't be in, out, in, out, in, out. You've got to be, you're in or you're fucking out.
So what, do you reckon one vote every 100 years does it?
Well, maybe something along, I couldn't even hazard a guess, but it'd have to be, like let's say, for example, with our EU membership thing, I know we'll probably end up talking about that later, but that'll probably take us a good 6, 7, 8 years to economically get out of Europe if we even passed it in the first place.
Really, that long?
Yeah. It's not like you're cut off ties.
So are we part of the colony of Europe? The European colony?
I wouldn't say we're part of the European state. It depends, because there's a couple of different opinions on it.
Right. So what, we are part of the family?
The IMF recognises us as
fucking evil motherfuckers
as a European state member.
Right.
But we do have our own thing on the list, if you know what I mean. Our economy is ranked on the list as well.
Right.
Whereas none of the others are. So you've got at the top of the list, richest economy in the world, the European state,
right,
which it is officially. Then you've got America, China, blah blah. Can't remember what.
So what's Rothschild then? That's a bank, isn't it?
Rothschild.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
You don't. Right, apparently, Rothschild is in every bank, is in every country in the world bar 3. It was formerly not in 5 countries, but 2 suddenly joined them: Iraq and Libya. Apparently, they own the money. They are the family that owns like the banks in all the countries. It really is like at the back of the fucking ship for like people knowing that this is what goes on. The IMF, I don't understand how they can actually be legal. They're killing countries, aren't they? They just what is the IMF?
The IMF arguably is probably one of the most powerful bodies in the world, in terms of they can literally just turn the taps on or off of any economy they want. They can shift. Apart
from Brazil, because Brazil paid them back in full, and he was panicking. He said, "No, we'll decrease your rate. We'll give you more money." They want. Why does IMF want to be in every country? What's the political gain for that?
Because
war
with the IMF, you've got with the IMF the ability to dish out. Not necessarily loans, but you've got the power to control countries that might break moral rules to make their own economy brilliant.
Which everybody is. China, for example. Well, China are fixing the fucking growth at 11% a year, and they're building and building and building. That's the reason why the economy's so strong. Not their exports. I wouldn't say they're dead, but I reckon they took a hit. Apparently, the yen is supposed to be on par with the dollar, but they fixed that 40%.
Yeah, well, especially with the China thing, China's always been the one tethering the line, good style. Anybody else who hasn't been tethering the line, who's gone past the line, like Argentina, Iran, we know how they fucking suffered. Like,
Argentina's fucked, isn't it?
Well, Argentina's having big fucking problems at the moment, money-wise anyway.
Right, why?
Well, the IMF is attempting to... It's more or less like a half shutting them down type of thing.
Right.
Because they're lying about growth figures.
Right.
Basically what it is, they've got loads of growth. Any country that's got loads of growth will have high inflation. China, for example, has got ridiculous inflation.
Has it?
Why? Well,
because everybody's got money to spend.
Because everybody's wages are going up.
Right.
They doubled the minimum wage last year or the year before.
Why?
Well, because and that'll be why stuff will start going back to countries like this now, because it'll start being cheaper to do the stuff over here and keep it here.
How far off do you reckon that is?
Well, I know quite
Decades.
a lot of chemical companies are starting to looking at coming back here, and we've lost a lot of chemical companies.
Oh no! Even with all of our environmental bullshit and fines and money you got to pay £1 million a year for, if you're gonna fucking pollute the atmosphere, we're gonna allow you to do it, but you're gonna pay more, and you've got to buy trees in another country to capture the carbon that you're producing and all that fucking bollocks. Even with all that taken into consideration, they're still thinking of coming back to this country.
Yeah,
China's dead. China's fucked. If that happens, China will go to war.
Well, the main thing is that you need to look at as well is the companies that do this are still the same companies that they were over here. They've just moved. And if they all of a sudden can't make profit in that country, but they can't make profit here, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? They're going to come here. You know,
China will collapse.
If China or India are up in their minimum wages, which they are, quite heavily.
Because of inflation. Inflation should be illegal.
Well, yeah, inflation is the stupidest thing ever invented. Full stop.
We're gonna every year we're gonna have to put prices up because of demand. Demand's increasing and the supply's decreasing, so we're going to have to put money up. So in turn, that floods the whole fucking country with less money to spend in the pocket. So in turn, the companies then start paying people more to get the best shit so they can afford to buy things. Why could they not fucking fix inflation at 0 and then tomorrow the price of something is always going to stay the same? Because in 1,000 years, a pint of milk's going to cost £2,000.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous. And Zimbabwe, I think they printed the $1 trillion bill.
Yeah.
Because a loaf of bread was like 600 million. Yeah. Why doesn't the country, the Prime Minister, just say, or whatever it is, the President, just say, right, tomorrow a fucking pint of milk is going to cost, I don't know, £3, and that's how much a pint of milk's going to cost. And we're going to fix it at that, and we're going to fix everybody's wages at this fucking level. Like, they take the average monthly intake of like £1,300. So he pays everybody £1,400 a year, so they can pay all the bills, and they have £100 left. And then the price of commodities and like luxuries that you want to buy are going to be fucking. That £100 is going to go fucking far. You can get a week shopping on like 10p, and you still got all that. You get a week shopping like for £10, and then you still got £90 for fuel. It costs, I don't know, £3 to fill your car up with fuel. Do you know what I mean? That'd be fucking sensational. The world will survive.
Now, these days, the main thing that stops that is, well, the IMF, funnily enough. You know, they're the ones who can stop a country from being able to do that because they can shut them down financially. Like, Iran is fucked. Even though it's not really being shown anywhere, it is fucked. Like
but there was a war exercise in the Persian fucking Gulf.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. But Iran, officially, they reckon had 1,600% inflation last year because of the IMF.
Why? What did they do?
The IMF is, well, we know the Americans have been sanctioning them, don't we?
Yes. Isn't the IMF headquarters in fucking New York?
I think it is.
Sure it is.
The current head of the IMF is American, funnily enough.
It just stinks. It just fucking stinks of corruption, doesn't it?
He was the last one voted in, and he was American. Obama gave the backing for him.
Yeah, I can remember that in the news. I can.
But it's quite a complicated thing in terms of, you know, it's a lot of currencies getting devalued and all sorts of sanctions.
Do you reckon there'll ever be a world currency?
Possibly, but it depends how well they actually do it, because the big problem you've got is
inflation. People on different wages all over the world. For me.
The biggest problem you've got is that countries are still countries on their own, aren't they? So they eventually end up going back to their own national interests and will shaft somebody else.
Like Greece.
Yeah.
Why aren't Greece going back to the fucking... What was it? What was this?
The Rand, I think, wasn't it?
Was it the Rand? Are they thinking about going back to the Rand?
Rand, drachma, I can't remember. What was it?
Drachma.
Drachma.
It was the drachma.
Where's the Rand? Is that Africa? I don't fucking know.
I think it's the dinar.
Somewhere. The Rand somewhere, not here.
Right.
But Greece is...
Why are they not going back to their national fucking money? Because they fudged their figures to get into fucking Europe, didn't they?
Yeah,
they did.
Definitely.
I've been to Greece. I've been to Zakynthos, and it was a shithole.
Greece was always trying to portray itself as...
You can't trust any country where you need to wipe your ass and put it in a bucket at the side of the toilet.
Well, yeah.
Because the sewer system is so fucking shit. You can't drink from the tap.
And I know a lot of people see Germany putting pressure on Greece to stay in.
Why did they? Do you know what? Germany lost the war. Germany lost the battle, but they didn't lose the fucking war, did they? Because they're basically running the whole fucking world at the minute. Well, no, that's a lie. They're running Europe, aren't they?
They are running Europe. They're the head state of Europe, aren't they?
What, officially?
Well,
can that never change, or does it go yearly?
It's not an official thing. Officially, the head of Europe. I
thought where's Brussels?
Brussels is in Belgium.
So why the fuck is Brussels
because Belgium's
like
always
the main place.
Belgium's always been a major neutral point. Not only that, Belgium was always the problem.
Is that where the
two
Hague
wars.
is?
The Hague, I believe. I think it's in Switzerland. The Hague, isn't it?
Why? Yeah, I'm jumping all over the place here. I've got so many fucking questions to ask. Go on. What was your point?
But Belgium was always the powder keg for one world war at least.
Right.
If you remember, because Germany invaded Belgium to get to France.
But it was Poland first, wasn't it?
No, the World War One. I'm thinking of here. The precursor to everything.
Yeah.
But the main thing you've got behind it is
Spit
Brussels.
it out, Declan.
Well, yeah, Brussels is the head of the European Union, isn't it?
Right.
You know, it is now, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, with the building, and then you have each country takes it in turns to run the European Union.
Right.
Is
7. That by a vote? Is it?
No, I think it's just a rolling. I think it's the rolling thing of the top 5 economies in Europe.
So they get to be. Wasn't Cameron Prime Minister of Europe at one point?
He was, yes.
And is that ended now?
I think it has. I don't think we've got that much to do with it now. I think somebody else was running it now.
So your decisions, so did he benefit us by doing that?
He had that position's got absolutely no power at all. It really doesn't.
What's the fucking point?
You know, it's the whole fucking European thing, isn't it? You know, fucking 3,000 workers all on over 100,000 euros a year. Fucking, you know, it's just a load of bullshit.
What about being part of Europe? Then is Europe a good idea, or is it? Do you think we're better out of it?
Europe's a good idea in theory, but we've had our first recession, which is everything's come crashing down, hasn't it? It's a fucking bad policy on everybody's part. You know, everybody's fault. Now I know Germany or the EU likes to think that America's to blame because Goldman Sachs went under, but Goldman Sachs was just the trigger. If it wasn't going to be Goldman Sachs, it was going to be something else.
You need to Google Rothschild, Declan. You need to know about him. You really fucking do. They make Goldman Sachs look like fucking Virgin Money.
Virgin Money. But they still blame Goldman Sachs for it. But at the end of the day, if Goldman Sachs wasn't going to go under, it was going to be somebody else.
Right.
And they think that was the reason for the recession, and so they still think that their system works. But there's only 2 ways they can get out of it. Either you completely break it apart,
which sounds good.
Which the shit will hit the fan, good style.
But it didn't have to. It doesn't have to, does it? It doesn't have to hit the fan. No, but people just make it difficult, so it will.
Or you make it more unified, which is what they're trying at the moment, which is they're bringing all the banks together, aren't they?
Yes, they are the dirty fucking Cossacks.
But
don't really know what that means.
And I think, to be honest with you, I think they're trying to make a banking sector that rivals ours, because ours beats everything else.
Yeah, why is that? Why is it that the United Kingdom still is like the city of London is probably the most powerful city in the nation of the planet in terms of financial? Well, isn't it? In my opinion, is that right?
Yeah. Well, you've got it's the financial sector. It is the financial sector. You know, second to it's Wall Street, third bleeding Germany, and fourth is China. You know, Germany's above China.
Is it
in terms of financial sector?
Fucking. So it's the United Kingdom first, and then Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
I've always thought it was Wall Street.
But the main thing behind it is that Wall Street's always had a very you can get done very easily if you fuck up in America. If you fuck up in America, you can get done good style over here.
Sent to jail.
Yeah, you know.
Really, that's awesome. That's a brilliant idea.
Whereas over here, it's always been a little bit more peculiar. Not only that, there's always been quite easily to avoid taxes, much easier. Which obviously we all know a lot of the bankers like their low taxes, don't they?
Yeah.
But
how did they justify that?
I could see him justifying it if somebody is responsible for a certain amount of money coming back. But when you're paying out more banking, what's the word?
Tax.
No, commission. Your commission. When you're paying out more bonuses, that's the word. Bonuses. Yeah. When you're paying out more bonuses than profit you're making, then to me something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. Yeah. You know.
What was that company you were telling me about on Word the other day? They've released a tax profit of 10 billion, but the fucking bonuses was
Goldman Sachs.
Was it? What was it?
It was they're making they're estimated at the moment to make $6.9 billion profit dollars.
Which is the company that collapsed? Was it Goldman Sachs?
Well, Goldman Sachs didn't collapse, but it got bailed out big style.
Right. Okay. So they posted what? 10 billion?
They posted tax. Well, they haven't posted it yet, but it's an estimate, and it's that late in the year now. The estimate's pretty bang on.
Right.
And it's $7.3 billion profit they're going to make before tax.
Mm.
But aside from that 7.3 billion profit dollars is after they've paid out $13 billion in bonuses.
That doesn't make sense.
So in theory, they are making $20 billion profit.
So why aren't they publishing that? Is it because of the outrage it would cause?
They've already published it. It's just
But on the news, that's not going to be the story. It's going to be Goldman Sachs makes profits of 7.5 billion. They're not going to say, well, Goldman Sachs has made 7.5 billion, but they've actually paid 13 billion out in fucking bonuses. So people will go mad.
So really,
people would burn shit down.
So really, their full year profits are going to be $20 billion, but $7 billion after their bonuses. Which to me, I just don't understand how a company can do that.
So, does that shit roll in this country?
Definitely.
That's how this country works. This government would allow that.
Even the banks now are putting money away for bonuses for some time in the future. Yeah. Goldman Sachs are paying bonuses in their banks in this country, whatever banks they are. I can't remember what the hell they are. But not only that, Goldman Sachs had the whole thing trying to avoid the tax, didn't they, in April?
In this country?
Well, like the tax rate's going down in April from 50% to 45%.
That's right.
And Goldman Sachs was trying to hold off their bonuses for the last 2 years.
So until it goes to 45%?
To benefit their banks. Now all of a sudden, basically one phone call from whoever the hell it was, probably the Prime Minister, said, fucking don't you dare do that. And he went, all right, we won't.
The Prime Minister, that's how high up it got?
Yeah, definitely.
Holy fuck.
He had to cut that off before it happened because that's too much.
Do you reckon Conservatives are going to get back in power?
It's too early to say, but I think they will.
Seriously?
What,
a landslide?
I don't think it'll be a landslide, but I think they'll get back in either a majority or they'll have something to do with the UKIP, definitely.
They're going to a coalition with UKIP? You just blew my fucking mind.
UKIP was originally, not that they're admitting it, you were originally looking at binding with the Conservatives back again, but obviously...
As Conservatives and not UKIP.
Well, most of UKIP's Conservative anyway.
That's true. That is true. And all there's a mixture there. Just tell the viewers, probably a lot of American viewers, just tell them what UKIP is and what it stands for.
Well, UKIP, you've got the UK Independence Party or United Kingdom Independence Party, which
full title on this show, we're professionals.
Which sounds very, very. It sounds a bit racist in theory, doesn't it? But they're not really, not much. Right. But they're basically a party that doesn't want immigration, right, or very little immigration.
Okay,
a bit more watered down than the extremists.
Right.
They don't want to be in the EU, full stop, which makes everybody not want them to get in power politically. Right. Not only that, they've got ridiculous amounts of power because there are loads of Conservatives in this country, which are the current government. Mm-hmm. A lot of their Eurosceptics, people who want out of the European Union, are that pissed off that they want to leave. They want to go into the UKIP in general or in some way bind with UKIP.
Right.
Now, UKIP's a tiny party at the moment. It is too small.
In terms of what members or?
In terms of they've got very little seats or anything. They've got a couple of councils. But
that's going to change. That is going to fucking change.
I genuinely think that, for me, if coming up to this next election, unless something drastic happens, it's going to be UKIP or Conservative for me, definitely.
What, in power?
Well,
as a coalition?
As in who I would vote for, personally.
What's your voting status at the moment? Mine's UKIP.
Well,
even though there's no candidates in this area, I really do fancy UKIP.
For me, I would be better voting for UKIP, and I would probably swing towards UKIP here because my vote is a dead vote here, Conservative. If I voted Conservative here, what's the fucking point? I might as well just throw me ballot down the fucking drain.
You can't have that attitude. You can't, because there might be so many people like you who are Conservative, and even though it's 40% at the minute, the majority, that could change over time. There's new voting generations coming through all the time. Well, 1 year I voted the Green Party, and it came second in the area. I think it was 300 votes. It was short. It was so fucking close. I voted for the Green Party because my trust in the politicians have been fucking hurt. Primarily with the fucking the what's it? Not cash for honours. The fucking expenses. All that palaver. That is their expenses is fucking criminal.
Yeah.
It's benefit fraud. They should be ashamed of themselves. The politicians in this country. I'm speaking to you because I know you're watching, David, or listening if you download it on iTunes. You motherfucker. It's fraud. The end.
I think you've just got a couple more followers there from fucking CIA, MI6, MI5.
I have got somebody from the NSA, National Security Agency. No, sorry, not someone. It is the NSA who are following me.
And that's just not on Twitter, Ben. Well, I can't even remember what we were saying.
What the fuck were we talking about?
Words.
Oh yeah, the UKIP coming into power.
Yeah.
No, is there anybody standing in this area at the moment for UKIP?
No, not from the last time, because the UKIP only had about 15 candidates last time. But he's already said, Nigel Farage, he's already said he's going to field every candidate this time.
Is he?
Around. Whether or not that means he's going to be fielding a load of shitty candidates, I don't know. But
Farage isn't a member of Parliament, isn't he?
No.
He's an MEP.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got absolutely
an MEP.
no say. So does he have a constituent to be an MEP?
Officially, yes, but
And who's
officially,
that?
no, because how many people in their area know who their MEP is? Do you even know who our MEP is?
So there's an MEP, there's a member of the European Parliament for the northwest of England.
For the Halton.
For Halton?
Yeah.
Halton has got a member of the European Parliament.
Don't have a clue who it is, but I know we've got one.
What the fuck?
Because it was by councils, wasn't it?
So basically it's a rep asking for money.
More or less. It's not only that, the idea of MEPs, which is members of a European Parliament, which for people in the USA who don't know, which they probably won't, you've got a big massive, I think it's 1,200 people in one parliament from all the different countries in the EU who make decisions, and then it gets passed on to the upper chamber of the European Parliament, who coincidentally, all the people who are in that upper chamber though are voted by members of parliament from the country they came from anyway.
Right, okay.
So basically the idea is that our vote can still be
manipulated,
can still be
accounted,
quashed by our own politicians anyway. So I don't understand why they don't just have our fucking members of parliament sitting in a fucking European Parliament as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
How much fucking must the MEPs cost? I bet it's a lot.
That all comes out of the money. So, us contributing to the European Union is what, about 6 billion a year?
7.3 last year.
7.3 billion last year.
Sorry. If you want me to get even more complicated, it was 10.5 billion.
But with rebates and all that.
But we got 3 billion back.
So what benefit does it pay me as a taxpayer? Because other than paying my my national insurance and VAT to our government, that then gets deducted again and sent to the European Union, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. So what fucking benefit is us paying £10.3 billion a year to be in the European fucking Union?
Well, officially people say it's down to trade, and you get your trade and your free trade with the European Union and all that shit. But to me, if you think about it, if all of a sudden we weren't in the European Union, people aren't all of a sudden gonna not buy something. Companies out there that need, let's say companies out there need a type of airplane or a type of motor or a type of something that's built in this country. Yeah. And all of a sudden we leave the European Union, they're not going to suddenly not buy it. If they can't get it, and if they're buying it from us, they're buying it from us for a reason.
Correct.
And so I think that the amount of trade that would change would be minimal. The only way that I think trade would change would be political pressure. Right. Pressuring companies in their own countries to not buy from us for leaving the European Union.
Right, yeah, right, yeah.
But ultimately the 10 billion that we pay in basically just goes to Poland. Basically, because they got 10 billion last year.
Holy shit!
They paid in.
That's a lot of money.
What
are we giving it for?
They paid in like 2 billion euros or whatever it was into the European Union,
and they got 7 billion out of it.
And they got like 12 billion back, type of thing, which ultimately brought them to a 10 billion rebate off the European Union.
Holy fuck.
So, from my point of view, it basically means the further west you get, the more richer the countries get. The further east they go, the fucking shittier the countries get. And we're propping them up, starting with Greece. We are propping them up. We really are propping them up, good style,
Would they ever walk away? Would they ever wake up one morning and think, Europe is absolutely fucking killing this country?
I think Greece...
There's people in other companies who are trying to fucking say how much this is, how much that is, that. But you haven't got any money in the bank and we need to apply for them. We've got printing presses. We can fire the drachma back up tomorrow. And tomorrow, these are going to be the prices. 6 months planning is all it is going to take. They could do that, no fucking danger.
Well, De La Rue, the British banknote printing company, which prints nearly every note in Europe, nearly every note in Europe is printed through De La Rue.
In the UK?
No, nearly every European note that we used to do was done by De La Rue.
And where are they?
De La Rue are a British company, but they've got quite a lot of factories in France as well. But they, over a year ago, when the Greece kick-off started, over a year ago, they started printing drachma, and they warehoused it. It was in the thingy. I had shares in De La Rue back then because they were quite worth quite a lot of money, and they printed it in the thing that as a emergency precaution they were printing drachma, and they warehoused it. Christ knows how much money they warehoused, but they printed it for off their own back. No one paid them for it.
You're joking? What? Because they just predicted. Somebody made that call.
Yep.
To say we predict that they're going to win the drama. Fuck me.
And a lot of people don't realise that printing banknotes is fucking expensive. It's not fucking American notes that are made out of fucking paper. Our banknotes over here are fucking shit. De La Rue.
What do you mean? America's money's made of what? Paper?
Well, the amount of money that it costs to make a banknote, let's say a British banknote, it's about 8 times more than what an American note costs to make.
Really?
To print. Because America, have you ever held American money?
No.
Fuck me, it's like fucking... It is like Monopoly money. It is like... It's just paper. It's just dead thin. It's just shit.
And what's so special about our paper?
Well,
is it from trees? Or is it hemp?
Is it from trees? Is it from hemp? Fucking hell. The Americans wouldn't let us print on fucking hemp, would they? But...
Whoa, it just fucking blew my mind.
But our notes, if you...
I think that was a bit racist.
It was, yeah. If you feel them in your hand, our notes, they feel like...
Heaven.
They feel quality. They really do. They have that little
you hold a £20 note and you think, do you know what, that is worth £20.
Yeah,
and a £50 note, you think, fuck me, that is how £50 feels.
When you see a 50 note, you think, fuck me, you're rich.
Yeah. Do you know what, I got a £100 note, for my wedding. 100. I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah, fucking hell. Well,
it was a Scottish one.
It was a Scottish one.
£100 note.
I bet you still got that in your fucking wallet.
It's got a honeymoon. I tried changing it in the travel agent. In the post office, and she looked at me as if I asked her to give her a cheeky finger. I was like, can you change this, please, love, into euros? And she went, she's fucking Sheila, £100 note.
Here you go, here's a fucking dead baby. Fucking. That's what the reaction was like.
Yeah. And saying that, fucking, they've still got £1 notes up there as well.
Have they?
Yeah.
I've only been to Scotland once. I've never even had a Scottish note in my life.
Have you not? Fuck me, I'm always stuck with the motherfuckers. Do you know what? It's hard to spend a Scottish note in this country,
I bet it is.
Only in Tesco, only in the supermarkets and major fucking national retailers like Binky.
McDonald's do it.
Do they take it as well?
Definitely.
But see, you call in the shop. I've gone in there with a blue before. It was a blue Scottish £5 note, and it was fucking blue. I mean, it was sky blue. She looked at me and she just said, "We can't take them because we don't know what we look like. Even the pens are going near it and melting. Yeah. What the fuck's that?"
Yeah.
So how much does it cost? Do we have any figures? How much does it cost to print a £20 note? That must be fucking crazy, that, isn't it?
I honestly can't remember. But I know. Obviously, you've seen it yourself, it comes off in big fucking reels.
I worked in a bank,
Yeah.
A bank is where all the banks send their money to.
Yeah.
I was stood in this room once, they were giving me the tour when I first started, and they took us into the vault. And oh my God, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And he said, in this room at the moment, it's £3.2 billion. In my pocket, I didn't have fucking enough money for a cup of tea in the cafeteria, and there was 3.2 billion surrounded by me, and it was gorgeous. And he said, that pile there, that's going for destruction. It's called a soiled note. There's 400 million there. 400 million pounds going. And this is like notes that somebody's written 200 on, or rubbed the pen on, or ripped a little bit. They're going for destruction. Yeah.
Like they have a constant stream, don't they, of sending notes back.
Oh, the reason why I said that is you mentioned I've seen money being printed. I've held money that has come fresh off the press, still warm, in the sheet, and then it's sliced up. Like £100,000 was just like in £20,000 bundles, and it was just crazy. Once I took cash in there in my pocket, they said you can't take any cash in there, and he's literally where used to was workbenches where the money used to get piled on the table. It used to make you sick, and then you used to get like an order from, say, Barclays Bank, and they would want going to cash machines. They would want like £50,000. They want so many in 10s and 20s and 50s and 5s, and we pack them all up, bag them. And where our workstation was, your workstation was like 11 feet long, and you just piles of money next to you. It was fucking, I felt sick. And you'd get your order in, and there was a camera to your left of you, there was a camera to your right of you. There was that was set up on 8 stations. There was a camera behind you, and there was a camera in front of you. Once £20 fell out of my, £40 fell out of my pocket. I had to pick it up in the air, hold it up, take it to the manager. The manager took it, and she had to play the fucking videotape back to see it drop out my pocket, and I got a bollocking for it.
Well, with money, even like fucking checkout workers have a similar thing, don't they? People who work in like the cash offices and stuff like that in supermarkets.
Well, if you worked in a bank as a cashier, would you ever think, when am I getting robbed? When am I getting robbed? When am I getting robbed?
Banks very rarely get robbed now, especially here, don't they? In this country. I know we don't really have any specific barriers of anything, but more often than not, how often do you hear about it?
Yeah, I know.
It's very rare. If you're gonna
cash machines, isn't it?
If you're gonna rob somewhere, you rob a jeweler's or something, don't you? I think the biggest question would be if you was working in a corner shop,
right?
That'd be the worst one. If you work in a corner shop, jewelers, watch places are bad. Because watches are fucking. Sometimes you can pick a fucking watch up and it's worth 180 grand, and you're like, right, I'm off.
Yeah.
But like a lot recently has always been jewelers. A lot of the robberies recently have been jewelers, definitely.
Because it's easy to get.
It's not only that; it's gold, isn't it? Gold, silver, diamonds, blah blah. It's not going to go down in value.
I think that was what was going on in Libya. I think they were trying to change buying the oil. I think they were trying to use like gold to buy it to take power, circulation of the dollar out of their country, and that was, apparently that's a massive reason why they went in there, because it would have done a massive dent to it. Do you reckon we'll go to a universal dollar currency then? Just getting back on point before.
Well, yeah, but we might end up on a universal currency one day.
Yeah.
But it depends if anybody's national interest comes along in the main place, because there's that many fucking powder kegs. There's just far too many powder kegs currently, isn't there?
Yeah.
Stuff's too volatile, and I completely see the benefit of it. I can completely see the benefit of universal credit.
Wow.
Well, think about it. One day you are going to have a time when fucking looking on science fiction shit, but you are going to have one day, aren't you, where you're going to this planet's not going to be enough. You're going to be off somewhere.
Right.
You can't have countries having a country on a planet and then colonising other planets, and then it just wouldn't work. It couldn't work. You'd end up with fucking stupid wars, ridiculous wars.
Do you reckon we should be giving countries money who've got their own fucking space program?
No, definitely not.
So why do we do it then? How can we allocate the money to how can we justify that? It doesn't make sense. And a nuclear program, we give you £200 million a year.
Because
how many schools can that build?
How many schools? How much money?
£200 million a year to India. We give them
200 million,
and that's been dropped to 1.2 billion when Tony Blair came to power.
Yeah. None of that. India's is getting a scrap now as well.
Yeah, that's right.
But
how do we justify giving these people money when we know that most of it's going to go to corrupt motherfuckers?
I don't know how it.
Did they get audited?
I don't know how the aid's come about at all. I don't know how this whole aid thing's come about. Like for example, just Egypt. Egypt's the best example. America pays nearly $2 billion in aid to Egypt.
Fuck.
That's a fucking lot of money,
isn't it?
Especially when you're gaining $1 trillion a year in debt. Fucking.
That's stupid money. That is stupid money.
They're paying $2 billion a year to fucking Egypt. Yeah. And
$2 billion is a piss in the fucking sea, isn't it? Compared to their national debt. Even though it's a lot of money, but it's not even fucking 2. Well, it's 2%, isn't it?
Yeah. But if you think about it, if you've got $2 billion at Egypt, how many have you got for the entire world that they're paying out? Same for us. But ours runs well into the billions, good style. But I don't understand how the aid thing came about.
Does the dollar have any power in this country? The American dollar?
Well, it's got power in terms of you can get nearly 1.6 of them for one of ours.
Yeah. Is that how high it is?
It's something like that. It's been like more or less that for a couple of years.
I
now,
know, yeah.
it?
Do you remember when it was? Do you know, once upon a time it was two,
I remember,
and then there was before that in the 70s it was £2.50 for every $1. Fuck me.
I remember people when I was in school saying, "Oh yeah, we went to fucking America. You get double your money," and then everything was dead cheap as well. You know, it was like, what the fuck?
I know, yeah. I heard trainers over there was £60, and in America they were 20. They weren't even half price.
Yeah, and then you was getting like 2 of them as well for one of yours.
Yeah. Fuck me.
Paying fucking £10 for a 60 quid pair of shoes.
I know.
Whereas these days you fucking bring them back and you get VAT charged on you.
Yeah. Import fucking duty.
Yeah, I got shafted 20% on my leather jacket I bought.
Oh fuck.
20% on a 300 quid fucking jacket. 300 quid just became 360.
Right, Declan. Politics at the minute. What do you think the future is for the? What change do you reckon is going to come about in the United Kingdom within the next 20 years?
One of two things. We're either going to be in Europe halfway, or we're going to be not in Europe at all.
Completely out of it.
Yeah, I hope not.
Really?
For the second one, because that will put a spanner in the works. Good style. You know, you really will have this country will suffer. It will suffer in the short term for that. But I can't see it coming to that. I cannot see it.
What about power?
What do you mean?
Do you reckon there's going to be a power shift?
As in terms of towards us, or
in terms of towards the powers in party at the moment, is the Liberal Democrats basically fucked?
Liberal Democrats are fucked unless they have something amazing happen. You know, now they need number one leadership change. They definitely need it, because let's face facts. Cameron quite well and completely agree with what he's done is that he's basically just rolled up this Parliament's problems up round Nick Clegg's neck and just gone, there you go. Yeah. That's your problem now. Dave Cameron's got off fucking good, really. He has, hasn't he? For the amount of stuff that he's brought about, he hasn't suffered anything.
Yeah, he's done well.
You know, it's Osborne and Nick Clegg who's got it all in the fucking neck.
So the Lib Dems are going to die. So first, second, in 20 years, first, second, third and fourth.
Definitely, you're always going to have Conservative and Labour in there.
Always?
You are definitely for the next 20 years.
Holy
anyway.
fuck, I don't. I reckon UKIP.
But UKIP are going to get up definitely third or fourth. Now, whether the Liberal Democrats stay in or not, I don't know.
You got the Greens and the BNP, haven't you?
You got the Greens and the BNP. The BNP are fucked. They're fucked off.
What do you reckon they've peaked? Because they were doing quite well at one point.
They were doing quite well, and then they lost every single seat in the general election. So then they were fucked. They lost everything because the BNP they can't stick. They used to be able to stick together. That was the thing. They had a lot of power because of that.
Right.
They had potential to go further.
Yeah.
You know, even for an extremist party, which they were. Let's face facts.
Yeah.
But they fucked up completely, and then they had all sorts of ties going wrong and everything. They split up. You know, they split up. They split up. I think it was the BNP, British National Party.
Yeah.
And I think they set up another one called like the Freedom Party, which was like an offshoot. And then the Freedom Party got like half of its members, and then they split up now. They can't win any seats at all.
Isn't there a party called the Independent Party?
No, I honestly
it was
don't.
Kilroy. Do you remember Kilroy? No, it was Chat Show host, probably a bit before your time, Declan.
Yeah, I would expect so.
Yeah, he was a part of that fucking whole Independent Party bullshit. So you reckon that Conservative and Labour are still going to be up there? Fucking fight. I just don't know what the future is for us. I really don't. Political terms. Do you reckon we'll start going like America?
What you mean in terms of two parties?
Well, no national defence and authorisation act, all that. Getting paranoid. Because I feel like America's being strangled by that. I've said it in every podcast I do. I love the American people. I am terrified of the American government. Even though I'm 8,000 miles away, whatever it is, I am terrified of their government.
So what? So the general question is, do you think if this country will go down that route?
Yeah, as being paranoid to fuck. They don't need like warrants to put video cameras in people's homes, and basically everybody in America it's basically the government are looking at them as a threat.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's true. That the government are seeing the public as a threat, and I just don't understand why. Do you reckon this country will go like that, or just not the British fucking way?
I don't think so. Not only that, the handy thing with Britain and Europe as well, just as much, is that eventually people do get held accountable. Right. They do. You know, if they break the fucking law, they get held accountable. Doesn't matter what level.
Yeah, but the bankers in America get held accountable.
Yeah, but I bet you any money their fucking defence stuff. I bet you any money they don't fucking get held accountable. Whatever fuck ups they make.
Right.
You know, CIA. Let's face facts. They're not gonna fucking tell.
Who are propped up by heroin money? Did you know that?
Well, yeah, they have been for fucking years.
What do you know about the CIA?
Well, generally speaking, they definitely, on some level, have the heroin or cocaine trade
Purely for money.
in some way.
Purely for money.
Yeah,
Financial gain.
So
a fund off the books operations.
There's no way that they are financed just by the American government. It's impossible. They couldn't do it. It's.
Do you reckon they're in every country as like sleeper agents?
Definitely.
So there's like CIA operatives in this country who are like not on the books, but our government don't know about. Why? You're spying on us?
Obviously, they've got more in the shitty countries. No offense to any of them.
Russia.
But fucking really bad countries. You know.
Yeah.
Like especially your Middle East ones and your Africa. Definitely.
Why is our bond so tight with America? Is it because they speak English, or because basically we fucking colonised? Because we colonised America.
We obviously had obviously our issues at first, obviously, but I think that bonded us together in a couple of ways. Not only that, the fact is that we literally have a completely unblocked route to America.
Yeah,
in
that's
terms
true.
of shipping, full stop. And theoretically, you could say that we're their fucking little island into Europe, aren't we?
Yeah,
definitely. And how many military bases have you got there as well? And I think it's one of them things that America couldn't do it on its own.
Do you reckon we'll ever fall out?
Not in. I can't see it. Not
in our lifetime.
Not in our lifetime. No way.
I can't.
Because
imagine if us and America went to war. Do you reckon they would flatten us?
Well, I think they'd flatten us definitely.
Oh,
but
shit.
It would happen eventually, wouldn't it? But the handy thing
We've got baby. We've got nukes too.
Well,
and in the war games, we always kick the Americans out.
Yeah.
But America usually comes last because the fucking aircraft carriers are massive, so th're just a big target. They do, honestly, mate. The United Kingdom always come first, and guess who comes second?
Who comes second?
Yeah. You're not going to believe this.
I would have to say.
If you guess it, you're fucking psychic.
I need to think of something.
It's one where you're going to go, oh my fucking God, really? After all they've been through, really?
A
massive clue.
I don't fucking know.
Germany have got the second best navy in the world.
The handy thing with Germany is
Canadians third.
The handy thing with the Germans is they've got about 30 miles of coast. That's all they've got. They've only got 30 miles to the ocean.
The fucking navy is the shit.
The
Chancellor. Fucking the Chancellor. It sounds like something out of Star Trek, doesn't it? We must go see Chancellor Myrtle.
Well, they used to be in the 70s. It used to be the president of Germany, because they took nearly everything in their economy out of the fucking Americans.
Did they ever have a monarch over there?
Yeah, they did, didn't they?
They had
World War One, Kaiser.
He was a German king.
Yeah, Kaiser Wilhelm. Because he fucking invaded France. Well, attempted to invade France.
The king.
Yeah, the king. And that's how it all came about. Kaiser Wilhelm invaded France. We kicked them to fuck, you know.
How can you remember that shit?
Yeah.
Seriously, man, how can you remember that shit? I couldn't even remember his fucking name.
I read far too much. Yeah. Kaiser Wilhelm II, if you want to get technical.
Holy fuck.
But obviously they kicked the fuck. They got kicked to fuck completely. Their economy went to shit. The fucking cities flattened to fuck, you know.
What about if China and America went to war? What about China and the United Kingdom?
China and United Kingdom, well, it couldn't be a war. There's no way to get between us, if you know what I mean. If you
Navy.
think about it, there's just
Navy.
no...
Airplanes and aircraft carriers.
It would be a naval battle. It definitely would. But the simple fact is that we just go, right, we'll just leave our Navy here around our island. Yeah. You come to us. Because they'd have to think about the amount of distance they'd have to cover would be incredible.
Why is it I don't know whether you know about the ships. About this. All of our ships are all diesel powered. Mm-hmm. All of our subs are fucking nuclear powered. But the Americans got nuclear powered aircraft carriers. Yeah, they do. That sounds like a fucking brilliant idea. I never have to refuel.
I don't know.
Never.
I don't know if it's a show of power having a nuclear powered aircraft carrier or not.
They never have to refuel, apart from 10,000 years or whatever, 100,000 years, whatever.
Yeah, I think it's 50 years on the nuclear.
Even that's a fucking long time. You're gonna do all right, aren't you? You're gonna do all right.
By then, you're just gonna build a new one, aren't you?
Yeah.
Which is facts.
Yeah, but the life of an aircraft carrier is fucking 100 years. 100 years. That's massive. The aircraft carriers are being built now. They're being built for 100 years. Yeah. But I think previously it's 40 years. That's a long fucking time. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? 100 years, the aircraft carriers, these super ones that are being built now, they're going like rickety pieces of shit.
Yeah. Well, the main thing with the aircraft carriers is that obviously we've only got one aircraft carrier. Well, we've got no aircraft carriers at the moment.
Yeah. They're building 3, they're commissioning 2.
Yeah, and we've got one incoming in about 4 years, I think.
That's ridiculous, isn't it?
Which is supposed to be the most powerful aircraft carrier in the world, completely.
Really?
Our first one that comes in.
I know it's got lasers on,
Yeah, railguns it's got on as well.
What's a railgun? I've seen that one. Seeing the lasers when a missile's coming in now, they're still using the goalkeepers. They're the ones that spin around and fucking shoot missiles. Now they've got a beam of about a laser that locks onto the missile and sends heat towards it, but like obviously soup can go a long fucking way into soup and it fucking blows. They're fucking lasers in our lifetime, mate. They're putting fucking lasers on battleships. What the fuck?
No, obviously aircraft carriers need a ridiculous amount of defence just on their own, don't they?
Yeah, well, what is it? They got a submarine and they got an armada around them.
Yeah. Well, that's the main thing. It's just a portable airport, isn't it? It's just a portable military base. I think it's 8,000 people. It is on an aircraft carrier, isn't it?
The American ones, definitely. These ones that are coming in now, yeah, it's going to be floating cities. They're known as. Literally, they have their own gangs and shops and bullshit and all that bullshit.
But
imagine that blew my mind. 8,000 people on a fucking boat.
We've got our aircraft carriers incoming, but obviously China. Now the main thing is with China is that China can't get Western countries to build stuff for it. The only way that they're getting stuff at the moment is Soviet. It's Russia, and Russia's obviously got a much bigger thing, but there's nowhere near as advanced. It can't touch you in advancements at all. And that's just official advancements. Who Christ knows what they've got behind them? That's unofficial. And China doesn't even have a fucking aircraft carrier going yet.
I know they just built a stealth plane and it's fucking massive. It's fucking huge. I mean, this thing is like half the size of a 747 and it's a jet fighter. And it's stealth.
Well, let's face facts. The only people that they need to bomb are about fucking 6,000 miles away, aren't they? At least.
Yeah, they go a long fucking
way.
way.
They have to go a long fucking way, aren't they?
Wonder when they're going to get the first nuclear aeroplane.
Yeah.
How the fuck would they do that?
Fuck knows. Well, fucking hell, we're already building 787s that are made out of plastic. That's how it begins.
Is that how it is? Plastic?
Well, the 787, it's made out of carbon fibre, isn't it? It's just plastic.
Carbon fibre is plastic?
Yeah. It's a form of plastic, that's all it is.
Is it? I thought it was like a metal.
No, it's a
carbon fibre. Carbon is a metal.
One of my mates has got a carbon fibre thingy car. You go on, it's like, and that's it.
Do you know what the scary thing is? If hemp was legal, it'd be made out of hemp.
Yeah, fucking hell, yeah.
Because hemp is more durable, cheaper to build, and it's more strong than fucking carbon fibre. Lighter as well. Fuck me, you're flying in a plant. I'm flying in a plant right now, motherfucker.
The 787s that they've just had, like, obviously that shows you straight away that the new eco-efficient fucking planes, they've got problems straight away, straight off.
They're all fucking grounded.
The Americans aren't happy about that. Fucking, they got shafted by
Boeing is fucked.
I know.
Boeing is fucked. Boeing's gonna die.
They got
Boeing is gonna die.
They got shafted by Airbus, who brought out all the new planes before they did, and then theirs that got delayed, then delayed again, then delayed again.
Fucked.
And then they fucking released it, and it's.
They got cracks on the wings, but they don't think it's anything to worry about.
Oh yeah.
There's a crack on the wing, and there's nothing to worry about. The wing might fall off.
Like a spot. Let's face that. As soon as the news outlets started showing a 787 grounded with people jumping down the chutes, that was it. Everybody grounded them. It's like, right, you've got a problem. So now Boeing.
Fucking you got a problem.
So, but Boeing's trying to blame it on funnily enough, Chinese-made batteries on the fucking plane. It's just fucking stupid. I don't think they can make the fucking mind up about what they're doing. Boeing's.
The world misses supersonic.
I miss the fucking Concorde. Bring the Concorde.
That's
back.
what I mean.
Love the Concorde.
That was designed as well to go to Australia. And do you know why they didn't allow it?
What do you mean? As in?
Why the Concorde never flew to Australia? Do you know why? because of the sonic boom going over the countries.
Mm-hmm.
The countries fucking disallowed it because it was literally going over people's houses. Going.
Well, yeah.
Do you ever hear it go supersonic?
I've never heard one in person, but I've seen it.
You've never heard one?
Not in person.
See, when I was younger, mate, you used to live at John Lennon Airport. You used to hear it. You used to hear it breaking out with supersonic, so you'd hear it coming into like Northwest.
No, I've never heard it.
Oh, mate, it was fucking stunning.
What year did the Concorde get grounded in though?
Ooh, was it 98, 99, something like that?
Well, you see, fucking hell, I was 10 then, so I wouldn't exactly fucking clicked onto that one.
That's when it got grounded, but yeah, it was. Everybody used to stop and look up when it flew overhead. It was was beyond amazing.
Have you seen the A380 though? The Dreamliner.
Is that flying yet?
Yeah, it's been going for fucking about a year and a half.
Where's it flying from? I bet there's
All over
airports.
the place.
I bet there's airports where they can't even fucking land in.
Manchester and Liverpool can land them, but no A380 goes to Liverpool. They go to Manchester though. They got a couple at Manchester going to Singapore, I think.
Holy fuck. You would never catch me on one of them. Never in a million years.
Well, what, 790 people in a piece of plastic? Fucking, what could go wrong?
Quoting Joe Rogan, you were sat in a tin can flying at... Oh, now you're sat in a fucking plastic bottle.
Plastic bottle, yeah.
Flying at 600 miles per hour through the sky. That would trip your fucking beans.
Yeah, the Airbus, obviously, the A380, that was made out of proper plane stuff, before carbon. They didn't make the jump to carbon fibre.
Have we got a space program?
Have we got a space program? I think we do. I don't know. Do we even launch anything? I don't think we fucking do anymore, do we?
I don't think we've ever launched anything, have we?
I know we did fucking years ago, but
I know we've got satellites because there's Drodrell Bank, that's government owned.
Yeah. I think a lot of ours is just science stuff, not really practical stuff.
What do you think about money being assigned to a space program? Let's say the government say tomorrow we're going to allocate 100 billion to a space program. Well, do you reckon there'd be outrage?
I'd say yes, but not only that, living in this country, we know for a fact that
aliens are real.
Yeah.
See, we know that shit.
Yeah, we know aliens are real.
We work with one. Not going to say his name, but his name sounds like Maine Wet Calf.
Well, we all know the aliens built pyramids as well, didn't they? So
you just blew my fucking mind. And do you know when?
When did they build them?
Yeah.
Fucking Christ knows.
Probably a bit before his time.
The
official story is the shit they teach you in textbooks is about 8,000 years old. They've done carbon fucking dating on the pyramids, and there's rain found on it, and rain wasn't found in fucking Egypt fucking 40,000 until 40,000 years ago. So the pyramids are probably about 40,000 years old. How the fuck? How do you build fucking? How do you move fucking stone 40,000 years ago?
They actually found pyramids in Poland last year by satellite.
What the fuck?
They seen the pyramids on the satellite imagery.
No,
they're digging them up now. But that's fucking mind blowing. Fucking pyramids in Poland of all fucking places. Like,
what do you think they are? What do you think those pyramids are?
I don't even want to know. I think we should fucking leave them down there. That's gonna be Predator style shit.
Oh.
Alien versus Predator. That's gonna fucking be.
Do you reckon the government? Do you know there's a government department called MI3 that monitors or does like paranormal research?
Well, there must be an MI 1, 2, 3, and 4, mustn't there?
MI3's paranormal shit. Do you reckon that they know shit that we don't about life in other places?
Undoubtedly, something. So it might not even be little fucking green men, but I reckon they know stuff that we don't know. Because straight away, why would America need Area 51? And let's face fact, it's not fucking military stuff. It's fucking something else.
Why? What do you say that?
Well, why would you need half a fucking country worth of space for military stuff when they've already got all their military grounds for shooting anyway? Testing weapons.
It's just another base. So you need to have more of a suspicion than a fucking why does an army need, a military need a big base in the desert? Because they want a big fucking base in the desert.
Well, what's the point of it though?
Right, carry on. What else? There's got to be something else. Please be something else.
Right. Well, straight away you've got. Now I know you've got all your UFO bullshit, right? I don't really.
It could just be a test military place.
I don't really believe any of that. And if any of it, I do believe it.
You don't believe in Roswell?
No, I don't believe in Roswell.
That's blasphemous. How fucking dare you?
But like, I know that a couple of years ago, whatever the fuck you call it, released loads of documents
On UFOs, yeah.
on UFOs, if you remember.
The ones they want you to read.
And yeah, the ones that they want you to read. And one of them was about fucking 200 meters away from here, right where I live now.
Bullshit.
And one of them was that the bridge. We've got a footbridge and a motorway, by the way, that direction.
Yeah.
The footbridge going over, somebody reported lasers on it, right? The police turned up and a big chunk of the fucking bridge was gone, perfectly cut off.
Fuck off.
And they've written that in the report. It was written in the report, and you can find it on fucking Google. That they reported that a big chunk of the thing had literally gone missing, but they couldn't place that any welding unit needed to do it. It was like ridiculous. You know, to have it that accurate would have been like some proper ridiculously massive.
Yeah,
something
welder. Like me or you wouldn't carry around in our pockets.
Yeah,
for a laugh. We're gonna go and carve a perfect circle out the bridge.
You couldn't go up there with a fucking oxygen tank and a fucking acetylene fucking burner and fucking give it a go. You just couldn't do it.
Right, carry on then. What else was in this report?
But some of them.
We're going there, ladies and gentlemen. We are going there. We're going aliens. This is a
Great.
political and economy podcast, and we're going aliens. That's just how we drop it on the Burn Motherfucker Burn podcast from Death Squad UK.
Yeah, let's get out of the fucking way.
Right, so go on. What else was in this report?
Well, you had similar things all over the country anyway, but even not just our report, all over the fucking place, stuff just doesn't fucking add up, does it? Full stop. Ever. You know,
Alien abductions. True or false?
Alien abductions, I don't believe. I just think they're fucking crazy people, most of them.
Right.
You know, and let's face facts, some of them aren't exactly. You know, let's say you watch the Northwest News of England.
So
right?
no anal probing then. That's what I want to know.
You watch the Northwest fucking news, don't you?
Yeah.
In England, right? And every person on it is thick as pig shit. You know, everybody they interview is just fucking some complete dingbat.
Yeah.
You know, they're always idiots.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they do. One of these
He picked me up with his laser beams and shook me like a dog.
One of these days they're going to have an alien abduction with somebody normal. You know, one day. I just don't think they have any. None of that. You know, your brain's fucked anyway. Your brain is fucked.
Yeah.
You hallucinate all sorts of fucked up things.
Yeah.
We've all had a hallucination that we thought was real. Let's face facts.
I once woke up punching my knee because I thought I was getting abducted by an alien. I did. My dream was, this is how fucked up my dream was, right? I was only 8, right? There was an alien in my bedroom, right? My dream was, it was in my bed asleep and I woke up in my dream, right? And I looked round and there was a fucking grey alien in my bedroom. And he was trying to fucking drag me out the fucking bed. I have an idea how fucking terrifying this is.
I can imagine.
But it was a small one. It was like must have only been about fucking 2 feet, because I must have been about 3
Stargate style.
4. Yeah, Stargate style, like small fucking green, the typical alien. And I was fucking punching the motherfucker in the face. And I woke up punching my knee. And I thought, ever since I'm 30 years of age now, so for the past, 22 years, I thought, was I abducted or was I attempted to be? Because I woke up and I was in the exact same position I was in my dream. Do you know what I mean? Wearing the same pajamas and all that shit. It was just fucking lifelike, fucking terrifying. I don't think I got abducted by aliens, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. I think governments on some level may not even be extraterrestrial stuff, but I think they've got research or really advanced stuff that isn't going to see the light of day for a long time. You know,
Lorenzo Terros, by the way, thank you very much for your tweet. Yes, we are going to aliens. That's where we're going now. The politics and economic show. Lorenzo Torres has quite rightly pointed out we've gone to aliens.
Yeah. Let's fucking get it out of the way and get it fucked off. But you've got, especially with the Area 51 thing. Now I know you've got all your fucking daft ass conspiracy theories, cows being found, fucking cut to pieces perfectly, fucking all sorts of stupid stuff, and your Roswell. But the simple fact is, more often than not, if people believe in a certain thing, there's more often than not something happened somewhere along the line that means that there's some kind of solid behind it. Something solid. There always is.
Right.
But obviously,
you ever seen a UFO?
No, I haven't.
You've never seen a UFO? You've
ever.
never looked at the sky and thought, what the utter fuck is that?
No, I haven't.
Never?
No.
Do you never look up?
I do look up.
But you've never seen anything you can explain?
I look at the stars. I don't
I
look at anything.
I don't look up to see a fucking UFO, do I? We've got fucking Stargaze up there. Right.
know.
Once me and Greg, my brother-in-law, we're not talking at the minute, it's a long story, but at G-Spot the Master on Twitter, once we were stood in the garden having a joint, allegedly. We were high in life, allegedly. We was looking up in the sky, right? Now, this was when we were having a fucking hurricane. It was 90 mile an hour. It was only 5 years ago. 90 mile an hour winds, gusts up to 100.
I remember the gale winds. I was camping.
It was horrific, it really was. And we stood up and we were smoking the joints, and there was this red thing. It sounded like it was struggling to stay up in the air. It was just a fucking massive red light. This thing was perfectly still, but you could hear like the engine struggling. We couldn't fucking... It wasn't a helicopter. It wasn't a fucking plane. Couldn't explain it. Unidentified flying object. I'm not saying it wasn't a helicopter. It didn't fucking look like a helicopter though.
But I don't think that extraterrestrials as such
are among us.
I don't think that, no.
Oh my God, why? You need to open your fucking mind. You've got a fucking £1,000 screen, computer, £1,000 computer screen for your computer. Are you telling me you've not looked at alien shit on your computer?
No.
You've never looked at alien shit on your computer. Never. Do you never not get away from porn?
I read the Times, for God's sakes. Why the hell would I read alien stuff?
Because you've got the internet. Do you never think to yourself that I'm going to fucking just Google... Have you never Googled Area 51?
No.
You've never Googled it?
I've Googled the size of Area 51.
Why the fuck did you... For this podcast?
No, I wanted
just in case it come up.
I just wanted to know how big Area 51 was years ago.
Why?
Just for a laugh.
Just for a laugh? That's fucking hilarious. Right? Have you never fucking Googled, I don't know, fucking some alien shit? Never.
No.
Why?
Never. I've looked at, the theories behind it, but I've never really been interested.
That's
in
alien shit.
Whatsoever.
Alien shit.
I've never been interested in it whatsoever. It just doesn't interest me. I just don't believe in it.
It doesn't interest you, does it?
No, it really doesn't interest me whatsoever.
Do you reckon we'll ever get invaded by an alien armada?
No,
never.
Although my plan is to fucking when we have our post-apocalyptic world and we have zombies running everywhere.
It's going to be zombies.
I'm going to take over the world and I'm going to dominate the galaxy. That's what I'm going to do.
Dominate the galaxy. Right. How do you reckon the world's going to end? How do you reckon the apocalypse is going to happen? Not the world's going to end, but do you reckon we're ever going to get to the stage where the arse is going to fall out of the world and people are at war, probably over natural resources? Do you reckon that's what the government in this country is coming to? Or all governments are going to come to eventually?
I think it's going to be a 50-50. I think it's going to be 50-50, as in one scenario being complete and utter fucking war, ridiculous style war, world fucked forever war, Oblivion type war. Either it'll be that or we'll just leave the fucking planet without any resources left at all and we'll fuck off somewhere else.
Can't do that, not while there's water.
Well, yeah, but I mean, as in, when it comes to it, I think by the time we get to
you
that
could just
point,
boil water.
It's going to be
boil water.
It's going to be fucking a good 1,000 years away before we run out of fucking resources. Definitely,
thousands.
We're going to run out of oil and gas and coal and all that shit.
When do you reckon that's going to come? When do you reckon the oil's going to run out?
I think oil the end of this century, definitely.
There's going to be no oil left. I disagree. I reckon there's at least 1,000 years worth of oil. They're only telling us what we want to know.
Yeah,
apparently, there's a massive oil field under the Falkland Islands, and they found more oil around the United Kingdom, and there's enough oil there combined to supply the world's current consumption. All fucking 7 billion of us, 1 billion combustion vehicles at the minute, always going up to supply them for 200 years. As it is now, and that's only 2 oil fields.
But
2 oil fields. Finding oil all the time.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been untapped because it's been harder to get to.
The main thing you need to look at, though, is what population will the world be as we go along, though.
It's going to flatline now. Apparently, it's going to flatline. I don't know how it's going to flatline, but apparently we've got to the level of 8 million. It's going to stay around this mark for... It went from like 6 to 7 billion in, I don't know, 10 years, 15 years, something like that. It's like the quickest jump in a billion. But now they reckon it's going to flatline for about 30 years. I don't know how.
I'll believe that when I see it.
I'll tell you how. Cost Because I tell you now, I would love to have another baby. I would love to have another baby. Can I do it? Can I fuck? Why? Because I'm a fucking potentially £500 a month in childcare fees for one fucking child before I've paid a bill. And £500, that's fucking $800 a month just in childcare fees. If we have another one, immediately you're going to double. You don't get any fucking discounts for having children. If you want 2 kids in childminder, you're paying at least £75 a day for it. And how many days at work a month? Fucking 25 or something like that. 20.
Yeah.
You do the maths, it's fucking extortionate.
Well, on our fucking thing at work, we're 15, 16 days a month, aren't we?
Yeah.
In work.
Yeah.
Not including your fucking you're on nights sometimes.
Well, that's it. No, we're less than that. We're 4 in every 12, aren't we? In 12 days we only work 4. Oh, shit.
Well, we work 4 out of every 8, don't we? Strictly speaking, one way or another.
4 in every week. Yeah, but you can look at it at 12, can't you? In every 12 days, because you're 4 off, 4 on, 4 off.
Yeah, but you did. If you did that, though, then the next month you'd end up being like you'd end up working like 20 days the next month, though. If you was 4 in every 12 in the first month. If
No, you won't, because you're always going to be 4 away, aren't you?
Yeah, you're always going to be 4 away.
And you're always going to have previous.
Yeah, but when you're have your 4 in 12, you're going to have a thingy. I think we're going to complicate a few people now. They're not going to have a clue what we're on about. But you have your 4 either side of that then, though.
Right.
Either side of that 12. So it swings and roundabouts, really. If you have a good month for being off work, you'll have a bad month after.
I think that's the universe telling us to wrap this up, Declan.
Yeah.
This has been the Burn Motherfucker Burn podcast from Death Squad UK. We are in no way affiliated with Brian Redband's original setup, but he has inspired us, Dale, to do this podcast. This was episode 1 with me, Ben Burrows, at DeathSquad_BB on Twitter. If you want to follow the Hit Me Man I'm Fresh podcast or all other Death Squad UK shows, it's at DeathSquad_UK on Twitter. Also joining me has been Declan Whiteside. Not only joining me, but the host of this podcast is Declan Whiteside at
Dienekesundead.
The fucking Dienekesundead. How do you spell that?
It's DIENEKESUNDEAD.
Dienekesundead on Twitter. As we say in the United Kingdom of Northern Ireland, the Great Britain, stay black, motherfucker. Peace out.
We don't need no water, let the motherfucker burn. Yeah. Burn, motherfucker.
How do you know that's accurate?